I had to put us back in. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cover Band Central
Yeah.
official podcast number 206 for January 23rd, Tuesday, 2024. I'm Steve Witchell in New Orleans.
And I'm Tony B, coming to you from New Jersey. What's happening?
Yes, we're
All right.
back, baby. We're
Woo!
back.
We're back.
We've had an extended absence, and we'll explain why during this time that we have together.
Yes.
And we'll get caught up and talk about plans for the future and tell you what's going on. But if you're joining live right now, we are broadcasting on the Cover Band Central Facebook page, in the Cover Band Central Facebook group, and on the Cover Band Central YouTube channel. And we're recording for the audio podcast as well.
Yes.
So people will be listening that way. But if you're in here live right now at this time, 7:02 p.m. Central Time, come on in and say hello. Tell us where you're from. Like Chonk did. Chonk is in the house.
What's up, Chonk?
He just came in and said hello.
All right.
Chonk is a part of the Cover Band Central team. He works on the website, and we're going to show you what the website looks like now. Tony, we made some changes.
Yes. Essential.
Yes. It wasn't. I'll explain why. It wasn't working. What had happened was during the pandemic, everybody's in their house, and a lot of people were having struggles with Facebook, and all the political talk and all that. People wanted to get away from it, so I decided, let's make Cover Band Central a social media kind of website,
Yeah.
which to mimic what Facebook, but without all the nonsense, where you could just go in and promote your stuff and talk about issues like they do in the group, or just explore around the site. You could create groups. I made it basically just like Facebook, and what happened was it didn't work. People are so used to Facebook, and a lot of people said that too. Is like, I don't need another social media platform. I'm
Sure.
good. I got Twitter, I got Facebook, I got everything else, Instagram, TikTok. They're like, I don't need another one. So a lot of people were reluctant to sign up. People did. I mean, we got about 10,000 signups on there. So we're still going to be in touch with those people. They're still going to be able to be a part of it. But the whole social media concept, it just didn't work. And I had to finally come to terms with it and admit it. It's like, this just isn't working. So so Chonk and I got our heads together, and we figured out what we could do that we thought would be much better for the community, for me, for everything all around. So we did that. So I'll show it to you in a minute. But
Chonk's the man to implement that, Steve. We know.
Yeah, he's the best, man. He's a godsend for me. Time Machine's here from Green Bay. What's up, Time Machine? Nice to see you.
Good time.
Yeah, hopefully other people come in, say hello, tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
But I'm psyched to be back, Tony, dude. I missed you.
Yeah, me too, man. I missed me too. No, I mean, we talked, but yeah, I missed us having our weekly gab. So it's good to be back for some hang time. Some wisdom.
Yeah, some wisdom. You never know what's going to come out of this. We never know. We don't plan all that much.
No, we don't.
So we just let it fly. So I guess let's get everybody caught up for the people who do listen to us on a regular basis. Our last episode was in, I think it was September.
Yeah,
I want to say
probably about that time.
Yeah, it was about that time.
Like 4 months ago, give or take.
Yeah. And so what happened was I got an opportunity to do some more stuff with Cover Band Central on the social media side, and I needed to really put in a lot of time to do that, and I was having trouble just focusing on, doing all that stuff and like coming up with stuff for the podcast and trying to do all the editing on all that. So we decided, just to take a break for a while and see what happens. I'm still doing all that stuff for Facebook. If you see the page, that it's very busy. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the group too has grown like incredibly in the last few months. So that was my reason. And then holidays came up, and things happen, and I'm playing and you're playing. And
then the reality of the dire need and desire to get back to podcasts is overwhelmingly on the surface, and here we are.
Yeah. And I wanted to upgrade the whole equipment, so I got a new mic and new computer too. Yes, I am, Chonk. He asked about this. Jumping the gun there if I'm going to talk about my bass getting stolen, but I might as well say it now. Last This past weekend I took off. And normally, for anybody who doesn't know, I work on Bourbon Street, New Orleans. I work 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. That's my current schedule. I've worked nights, I've worked days and nights. I've done a lot. But my current schedule, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 6:15. And generally, what we do, since we're in the same room, there's only one other band. We have to strike the stage and let the other band, set up. But we put all our stuff in the back of the club. All of us. We put it in this like big corner, dark corner of the club, and just pile everything there. And so the weekend prior
And
to,
you've been there for years, Steve, right? I mean,
yeah,
like that's the norm.
yeah, it's the norm. And so this past weekend I didn't work. I wanted to catch up on CBC stuff, but the weekend prior on Saturday we had put our stuff in the back, and then came in Sunday and my bass was gone. And we looked everywhere. Sometimes people, will move things around in the club, and people that work at the club are looking. We asked the night band if they knew anything, and nobody did. So the guess is that it was crowded. It was packed that night, or busy at least, and there were a lot of kids in town. There were a lot of college kids. So the guess is that, yeah,
Delinquents.
yeah, the guess is that like a drunk college kid saw it, and it was in a place where it was kind of easy to pick up. And I put it there because we had to rearrange the way it was in the back for some stupid reason. Um, and it was probably just more accessible than normally. And the guess is that somebody just picked it up and walked out with it. It was in a gig bag, black gig bag, easy to just carry out without anybody noticing.
Very
Um,
uncool though, man. Just,
yeah,
still just such just douchey people in the world.
yeah, and I don't know. I was bummed about it. So that day I used Sonny, our keyboard player. He also has a bass and he lives nearby, so he went and grabbed the bass and used that for the day on Sunday. And then
Well, that was good. At least he was close by and had a backup.
yeah, that helped because I normally would carry a second bass with me, and lately I just haven't been. I think because in the summer, or no, because it was getting cold, and I didn't want to leave another bass in my trunk. So I hadn't been taking it, and so I didn't have one
Well,
with
here's the
me.
thing too, like, so what kind of mindset do you have going on stage with, knowing that you get there and you're like, "Ah, my bass is not there." Then you search high and low for it, you can't find it. Not sure if it's really gone, if it's stolen, if it's misplaced, if it got moved. So, like, what's your mindset like on that first gig when you're back there and playing on Sonny's bass? Are you thinking about it, or are you forcing yourself to stay, present to the moment that you're on stage playing?
It was kind of neither. I was just resigned to it as soon as it happened. Like uh, as soon as I went to where it would be, and I didn't see it at that very moment, I thought, okay, it's possible that it was taken.
Mm.
And right at that moment, I was just kind of resigned to it. I didn't panic. I didn't get pissed. I was just like, a little bit bummed. Obviously, but I was sort of just resigned to it. I didn't like feel like I needed to react in any way.
And was
I just,
Sonny there yet? Like, were you thinking in your mind,
yeah.
like, "What am I gonna do for a bass if it's not here?"
No, Sonny was there. He was, because we all get there pretty early and we set up and we have chill time. And he was, as soon as I mentioned to him, like, I don't know where my bass is, he said, "Hey, if you need one, I'll go grab my bass." So, it
Cool.
was as simple as that. A couple blocks away from the club he lives.
And how was it
Uh,
playing on someone else's bass for the gig?
it was fine. It was a nice bass. I can't even remember what the brand was. Um, but it was 5 string, which is what I wanted, which is what I normally play. And
It was comfortable, action was good?
yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it felt comfortable right away. And yeah, I mean, it kind of bummed me out during the course of the gig, but I didn't really let it affect me all that much. Certainly nobody could tell that
No,
was
it's great
there in the club.
resilience and resolve, you know? It's a shitty thing to have happen.
And I think whatever I was thinking about at the time was just, let me make sure with the night band. And one of the guys from the night band comes in super early, and super nice guy too, like sweetheart, guitar player, great player, and
The
we were
last
on.
guy you would suspect that would steal your bass.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's a suspect though.
But I had posted it on Facebook as soon as I realized it was gone. I posted on Facebook that somebody walked out with my bass. If anybody sees it, let me know. Because a lot of my Facebook friends are New Orleans musicians, and
Hmm.
they would. So I put up a picture of me playing it, and a couple other people did pictures that they had taken of me, so they got good angles of the bass. But that's probably not likely that it's going to be found that way. It was probably like I said, just a kid.
Mm,
These rotten kids today.
yeah, well, listen,
Yeah.
onward and upwards. You'll get a different bass. You'll save up some bread
Oh,
and
I
take.
got one already.
Oh, do tell.
I went to the store today and I bought a bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how I'm staying off the mic, so I'm not blowing out your ears on that.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
Um,
Can't promise I'll
I
do it again that way though.
yeah, I let it kind of marinate for a little while after that happened, and then I took this past weekend off, which was really very helpful. Not that it takes all that much time for the gig. It's a 2 hour or 4 hour and 15-minute gig, but it really ends up taking up the whole day. And I get home and I have no energy to work, and I really needed to get caught up with this new website and all that on
There's a lot
everything.
going
So I kind of let it marinate for a while, and then I have a five-string Spectre here, which I love, and I've had it for over 20 years.
on. Hmm.
But I plugged it in and tried to play a little bit, and it sounds great, but it's got some going on in the with the pots with the volume,
Mm.
and it's no bueno. And I did that last night, and I'm like, all right, I'll go buy a new bass tomorrow. And I went to a place called C&M, which is a local music store here in New Orleans area. And I told Jason, my drummer, that I was going, and he said, "Oh, make sure you ask for so and so." And he's like, "I'll call him and let him know you're coming."
Cool.
And yeah, and I did, and the guy was really cool, just super nice, laid back dude. Way better atmosphere than the major music store chain.
That will
that
remain nameless, but
that will
everyone
remain
knows what
nameless.
you're talking about.
Everybody knows what it is.
Sure.
But yeah, so totally laid back, really good selection. They had a beautiful Spectre there it was like $3,000 though, and I was like, oh man, I want that so bad. It was 5-string, beautiful. I gotta save my allowance for that one.
Mm.
But I bought, a very inexpensive Ibanez. Somebody asked what kind of bass I got. It's an Ibanez. I'll show you. It's very inexpensive. Um, I don't know what it's called there. There's your headstock there.
That's nice though. It's nice and
It's
shiny piano black.
a sound gear. I don't, I'm not a gearhead. So if a bass feels good to me, looks good to me, sounds good to me, it's good. But and I picked up a few of them in the store, and this was one, and it's super light, and that's really a big plus for me too, because I'm on stage for so long, and I really like it. It affects my back with a heavy bass. This is super light, so that was it, and the action's nice and low, plays great, sounded great, and it's light. And I was like, all right,
And it
that's
spoke
it.
to you, and here it is.
It spoke to me. It did. It was the one that I picked up that felt comfortable right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas others, you're like, so that seals the deal there for me, because that's what it's about. And I'll play it
Excellent.
this weekend
Good luck
and
with
if
it,
it
brother.
doesn't, yeah, I'll play it this weekend if there's something about it, I can always bring it back and do something else. But
Yeah.
for now I'm good. I had to get a new speaker too. I blew a speaker in my 410, so I
Mm.
ordered that today. It's coming Thursday, and I'm going to bring in my cabinet in and have a good sound on the weekend. It's a busy time of year here, Tony.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I know. This is
it's
the time of the year for you.
Mardi Gras season,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun right now. So now I feel like, okay, I don't have anything to worry about. I can go in, set up, play, make sure I take my bass home with me. A lot of people yelled at me about that. Like, how could you leave your bass at the club?
Yeah,
I
what's wrong
always
with you,
bring
man?
Yeah, I always bring my bass home, and I do too. But it's New Orleans, and sometimes you have to park really far away, and sometimes it's raining, and
Well,
you
this is
have to
the
park
norm, and
really
you've been
far away.
doing it for years, it's like you don't think anything about it, you know?
Well, my base though, no, I would more times than not, I take my base with me. But yeah, but it's like I'm carrying a backpack. I always carry my backpack. I always carry my cooler because I bring lunch and water and shit with me. Um, so it's like, all right, do I want to carry that and my base and walk 9 blocks? And like, no, okay, I'll just leave my base here because I'll be here tomorrow. And that's what I think when I do that.
And does your
And
cabinet stay on stage off to the side, or does that go in the back also?
that goes in the back too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There used to be like sort of a house cabinet there that this guy, Ryan, had left there because he would play there like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that. And he just left his cabinet there for everybody to use, which was great. Then I was just using a head, but nowadays he's not playing there anymore. Uh, so I've been using my own cabinet. I've just been using a 210 Mark bass 210, which sounds fantastic. If any bass players out there
Hmm.
ever use Mark bass, the cabinets are great. They're super light cabinets too. And I was just using a 210 on stage, and then going through the PA, and that's enough. That really is enough for that
And you
room.
mic in the cabinet, or you got direct out the
I
back?
get direct out, yeah, direct out. So it's out front, so you can hear it well. But I'd like to have a little rounder sound on stage, so I'm going to bring the 410 in this weekend and have the 210, and it'll be a nice fuller sound. And this bass is not active pickups, passive pickups,
Mm.
which tend to be less output on them. The
You're not quite
active
as hot.
pickups, yeah, it's not quite as hot. So I need a little extra, I think. So I ordered that speaker. I'm gonna fix that. Boom, and I'll have 6 10s on stage. So that should be do it. That should do
That should be
it.
sufficient.
Let's catch up on comments here. John Thorpe said our live music scene has been dying here in Kamloops, British Columbia,
Hmm.
since the COVID days. How has your music scene recovered from those days? Is it better, or did it take a hit too? It took a hit for a little bit, John, because New Orleans is a tourist town, and people when pandemic people were not traveling, so everything was closed for about a year here, and then slow reopen, slowly came back, and it's been really kind of normal uh, for quite a while now. How about your scene, Tony?
Yeah, the
Tell
biggest thing I noticed
Yeah.
is that, we used to play 9:30 or 10 o'clock start till like 2 a.m., and now all the venues have gone to much earlier, like 7 to 11. If you're playing on a weekday, like say, or a weekend day rather, like a Sunday afternoon, 2 to 5, so typically 3-hour sets now.
Hmm.
Friday, Saturday nights, 4 hours. Um, but everything's been pushed up. So you're done by 11 o'clock, by midnight, you're done breaking down, the places are closing. So, they might be open till 2, but the bands are not playing, till the very, very end of the night now. And we're not starting nearly as late as we used to. So that's kind of nice to start earlier. Like I'm playing next Wednesday, 6 to 10, uh,
Hmm.
on a Wednesday night. And then that following Sunday, 2 to 5. So in
There you
that
go.
regard, it's definitely nice not getting home 4 o'clock in the morning, especially after working all day. So, you know, I would say there's just as many places that are having bands, if not more. A lot of town festivals, we get booked for a lot of those, like spring, summer festival. Um, Outdoors, usually get 6 or 8 of those on top of whatever gigs we might have.
Hmm.
And we've got maybe 18 gigs already this year, 20 gigs on the calendar.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So without the summer gigs. So we've been averaging like 30, 35, somewhere in that vicinity, just enough.
Cool. Yeah, but do you think the whole time thing is COVID related, or is it?
A lot of it is, I mean, some of the clubs that were traditionally late night, maybe it was 10 to 2, might be now 9 to 1. They may have altered it slightly.
Mhm,
Um, but again, I think a lot of the time changes too were because it was outdoors only for a while after COVID
mhm,
and, sound ordinances in town. So they're starting earlier, like before dinner or in the afternoon to get around that, after 8 o'clock. if you're outdoors, people start calling.
It's probably a blessing because the generation that would go out, kind of our generation, and I hear this a lot about why can't bands start earlier? Why can't concerts start earlier so we can get home,
Hmm.
earlier? Because a lot of people have, day jobs and children, and they have to get babysitters, and they have to like all sorts of things like that. And
Yeah, it's a lot easier to
people,
say. It's a lot easier to get people out to say, "Hey, we're playing 7 to 11," than to say we're playing 10 to 2
yeah,
because it's
exactly,
already late. I mean, not that it was a problem getting people out, but there's definitely a bigger crowd I've seen earlier. Because you get a dinner crowd and then they stay, as opposed to your dinner crowd, and then by the time they're departing, you're just setting up. So at least you're
right,
halfway through your set, and the dinner crowd is still there. And if you're good and they like you, they typically will stay after they're done eating. They'll go grab a drink at the bar and they'll hang out.
right. Um, yeah, but I see that a lot. So that maybe, his working in your benefit. Uh, um, I don't know who this is, Facebook user. If you're in the group, you got to let StreamYard show your name. But
Mm.
it said except Barn Properties, Tony, they didn't get the memo. I don't know what that means, Barn Properties.
So that's like Black River Barn, Rockaway River
Oh,
Barn. They still do the 10, 10:30 to like 2:30 type thing. They're late nights. And I did get the memo. But I don't play any of those places. I know Jimmy played a couple
no,
of those places.
he said
So
they didn't get the memo.
yeah. Oh no, they definitely got the memo
Oh, they
because
did.
well, but they've always been late night, and we've always said that like a 9:30 start there. But those like Black River Barn is typically that place doesn't get going till like 11 o'clock for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a
Hmm.
second stop for people, but it's definitely we every time we played there, it was always a busy night.
I think
And
so. I think that might be a second stop. Like, let's go eat at this restaurant, and then let's go grab a beer at the barn,
yeah, Rockaway River
kind of
Barn,
thing.
not so much. The place we played there was kind of hit or miss, but Black River Barn, we had a lot of good gigs there, and they were late night. Like I said, we wouldn't start there till 9:30, and then that place got rocking like around 11 o'clock. So by the time you were going to the third set, that place was usually pretty busy, and a lot of people having a good time. It's a place they get up to dance on top of the bar,
Yeah.
all kinds of shenanigans going on. People falling down, splitting their heads open, drunk.
Oh my God.
Good times.
Yeah, I played there with you.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
I played there with you in a band called Outskirts. Tony and I used to play together.
Yeah,
Um,
right
uh,
next to the pizza oven in that place.
almost 20 years ago now.
Was
Yeah, the pizza ovens.
Yeah, 20
It's
years ago.
just, it was such a cliche band in the corner kind of setup for
Yeah, and
the,
you set up in front of the egress exit for the fire
the,
door, so it's like
the
you can't
exit
block the
door.
fire door, it's, like, impossible to set up. I used to set up sideways,
Yeah,
like, you're sitting there looking at the band, and I'm looking over my hi-hat, we'll say, so I'm looking
right.
over my hi-hat this way at the crowd, facing the rest of the band, looking at me, and they're all facing the crowd. Because you try to set up straight on, it was just too much of a footprint, or you're up against the
Yeah,
side of the pizza oven, and there was, like, no room to get by.
yeah. So
But
we
great
would
great load in that place, though. The stage
the
door,
door was right there.
you
Yeah,
pull your car up, you open the door, and you load in.
yeah.
5
But
steps.
not only did we have to do that, like leave the space for the exit door, but we had to. I don't know what. I don't know because
$5,000 fine. $5,000 fine if you block the door.
yeah,
You
yeah.
got $5,000, then don't block the door.
Right. I played there with a band called Mad Rabbit that I used to play in, and yeah, it's going back 25 years ago now. And we would have our wedges, and I think you guys did it too. Your floor wedges in front of you
Yeah.
for vocals, so that served as the barrier between the band and the people. I was not going to say crowd,
No, the drum
although it would get crowded.
yeah, tripping over all over your speakers.
Yeah, so the big part of the bar was comprised of the bar itself, and it was all the way around was a bar. You could be on any side of it, very long in the room, and then on our side it was kind of the short side, and people would kind of gather there to watch the band and dance and whatnot. And so we felt like it was this invisible wall. Your mic stands, your floor wedges as your monitors, where
Yeah.
people, this is the line right here. You don't go past this line. We're not going to come past this line. Maybe we will,
That's your
but
perceived barrier that no one respects.
it's our right. Yeah, but it's our prerogative to cross that line. But should not cross this line. You should understand that there is an invisible wall here that you cannot pass.
Yes.
But yes, people would do it, and people would do it accidentally most of the time, where they were tripping
Tripping
over.
over, kicking your cables out of your monitors, tripping over monitors, falling into the band, spilling drinks all over everybody, coming up to talk to the band, not realizing that the monitors are on the floor and taking a header right in front of you. I mean,
Grabbing the mic,
yeah.
grabbing the mic stand.
Oh yeah, grabbing the mic stand as they're falling into you, or as they're dancing, smashing the mic, and the mic's hitting the singer in the face, taking
Oh
shots.
man,
It's great.
that's
Great vantage point from the drummer's view, man. I never got any, you know, I never took on any damage, but I witnessed all kinds of carnage in front of me.
oh yeah.
It's great.
But I tell you, those are some of my favorite gigs and my favorite. I love the local bar, man. And back then you could smoke too, so people were smoking and in the bar, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, like I said, spilling drinks, buying the band shots, which was always great.
getting
But
crazy, dancing on the bar and falling off the top
dancing
of
on
the
the
bar,
bar,
crashing onto people that are not paying attention that you're behind them, and oh yeah, all
yeah,
kinds of antics.
clothes coming off sometimes.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
saw some
people.
people get very hurt, like, falling down there, and you think that they're not getting up, and they would get up and just keep going, and you're like, "Man, they are definitely gonna be feeling that tomorrow."
So
They are
good
sobering up.
times,
Good
good
times.
times, good times. And I don't remember what we got paid there. I think Barn would paid us fairly well, maybe like a buck 50 a man, something like that.
Yeah, at the most. I mean, that, maybe $600 or something. It was not a very lucrative place,
No,
you know,
but
and
the
and it was a 4 AM because, you get out of there by the time you're done packing up, it's 3 o'clock.
yeah,
You hit the diner, which is on the way home right there,
right, right,
on the highway, and then, like I said, you're rolling in at, like, 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
yeah,
But it was
that
always a
was
Friday or a Saturday night gig, so it was good. You didn't have to get up,
yeah.
crack of dawn the next day.
So that was in North New Jersey for anybody that's following along here.
Yeah, fun
Um,
fun time.
North New Jersey. All right, let's take a quick break for the audio podcast, and we'll be right back. So I'm going to get to some more of these comments now, because John kept commenting. He said regarding getting back to work post COVID. He said, "Good to hear. What would you recommend to get more people into a venue?" Well, John, I have an answer for that.
Wow, funny you should ask that question.
It seems hard to attract people to get into live music as opposed to the DJ stuff, John said. It is definitely your location, because he mentions later, he said he needs to move to New Orleans or Nashville or something. New Orleans, there's a boatload of opportunity for musicians. And I don't know why more musicians don't come here, because it's a great place to live, and there's oodles of music. But what I was going to say is I wrote a book, an ebook. It's called Get 'Em to the Show. And I did put a link in the description for it here. So if you want to check it out. And it's a good read. It's super helpful. And if it doesn't work for you, I'll give you your money back. It's only $10. And like I said, link in the description. And it just talks about how to build your audience online, the right way to do it, the easy way to do it, the quick way to do it, and how to turn that into people coming to see you play, and in turn making you more money and blah blah blah. So I highly recommend that you check that out, John, and anybody else that's listening. GetEmToTheShow.com. That's GETEMTOTHESHOW. Get 'em to the
Get
show.
him to the show, Steve.
.com. Yeah, so John also said clubs run till 2. Maybe it'd be better to start and close earlier. I think so. I think that's really an answer. But it does, again, depend on your location and the clientele and what they're used to. So, like you said, Barn out there in
Yeah, and those places kind of have built-in crowds to some extent, and a lot of the bands play the same songs. So another big thing that we've come across, with OC5 is that just the set list, having a different set list than everyone else plays, has fared very well for us for getting people to the show, because they come to the show and they say, "I can't believe you played that song. Like, I've never seen a band play that song."
right.
So that's kind of been our shtick, is that we don't play the normal cover band fare. And it's
Yeah.
worked, we have a great success with it.
I see it work a lot for a lot of bands, because people in Cover Band Central every day in the group post live shots or live video of their gigs, and I'm always interested, more than anything else. I'm interested to see what song they're playing.
Mm.
What song did they pick? What song did they pick that they really want to share? with an audience that they feel is really good. And more often than not, it's a song I wouldn't expect or I've never heard before, or it's not your standard Jesse's Girls or Don't Stop Believin', although they do come
Hmm.
up. I'll see different songs. Sometimes it's a song I never heard of too, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, who is this artist?" And let me check out the original. And it's a great way to discover music. And I applaud you and your band for doing that. And there is definitely a market for it, for sure. There's a lot of people out there that are tired of hearing the same old cover band songs. However, the opposite is true. There's a lot of people that expect to hear "Don't Stop Believin'" and
And
"Living
I
on the
think the
Prayer."
venue really dictates that too, and
Sure,
your geographic area, where you're playing, what state you're in, the clubs you're playing, what your following expects. Are you in a new room? Are you in one of your standard, rooms that you always play, where they're kind of, you've been there before, they know what to expect. So if you're adding new songs to your repertoire, they are in that same genre of the songs that you've been doing. So at least it's the expectation to say like, wow, it's going to be fun to see what song they do next.
right. Yeah, yeah, that is fun, and that would be fun for me too, as a audience member. So John says we do different set lists from everyone else too. It works well.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever works for you. You try things, and it really does help to have a big catalog of music to choose from in case you do play that gig where it's a bachelorette party and they want to hear Jesse's Girl and they want to hear Summer
mhm.
'69. Those are songs you really need to know. Those are like the standard songs that you should know. It's like I had an analogy and it just disappeared.
Hmm.
But Rose thinks you're a handsome man, Tony.
Thanks, Rose. I think so too, sometimes, some days.
Yeah. Um,
Good.
yes, that's why we have Tony here.
That's
Because
it.
he's
I'm
a
just I'm
handsome
just here
man.
for eye candy and for support for Steve. That's it.
Yes, that's
And
right.
I got a good background.
Right. For those of you who listen to the audio podcast, you can see this on video, the replay for it on the Cover Band Central YouTube channel. It's probably the easiest way to get there.
For sure.
But it's in the CBC group on Facebook and the CBC page on Facebook as well. So let's get to this website, and I'll talk for the audio podcast. I'll talk you through it so you can see what
Yeah, take us on a
we're
tour,
seeing.
Steve. Let's see the new and improved Cover Band Central website.
Yes, yeah. Time Machine says you look dapper, Tony.
Dapper. I like that.
I should dress nicer and
Yes,
look dapper.
dapper.
Do I really want to
I
look
got my
dapper
Foo
though?
Fighters T-shirt on, so I'm definitely dapper.
All right. So yeah, like I said, we had this format of like a social media site, and it just wasn't working. So we went and completely revamped it. So we're going to take a look at and see what it is. And if you want to go there, it's coverbandcentral.com. I did put a link in the description for this as well. And now we got to interrupt because she loves your drums too. You're handsome in front of your drums.
Yeah, well, the
Really
drums make it. Like I said, I'm a hologram. I'm the fake part. The background's real. I'm fake.
All right, here we go. So here it
Nice.
is. So you go to the homepage like this, and it works great on mobile too.
Yeah, look at that guy's having a great time right there.
Yeah, so just a little slideshow of pictures, and there you got your menu up top here. You can check out all the articles by category. This is all articles I've written. Tips, great tips in there for anybody who plays. And video of the week too.
Tricks for
We
the
did,
kids.
yeah, video of the week. We've spotlighted some artists there, and there's also a spotlight artist section too, where we went deeper into some artists out there. All cover band artists, all great killer cover bands that are out there that you should
Yeah.
know about. And linked to the podcasts here, and all the other article categories. We also have a meme gallery, and it's on categories based on like instruments, bass, drums, guitar, keyboards, vocals. Whoopsie. And then different categories like gear, gigs. These are all memes I've made over the years, and I'm adding to them all the time. And especially the musicians' quotes is like famous people and inspirational quotes that they've given, and I try to pick some good ones. And tips too. I do a tip of the day. Anybody follows along with that on the Cover Band Central page, they're all in here in the meme gallery, and then link to the aforementioned ebook, and then contact if you want to get in touch. So we're going to scroll down just a
Great job.
picture of me, a pretty cool bio. Any of the latest articles that we've written will show up here. There's another thing for the ebook if you want to grab it. Link to our Instagram, which is highly active as well. TikTok, all the reels that I've done.
Uh-huh.
We got more coming there.
It's a good look.
You want to sign up for the newsletter? There it is. And just recent Facebook posts and link to that. This very podcast here, you can see all our latest episodes here. Scroll
Yeah.
through 205 latest episodes. And then the videos where you could also watch this podcast, and there's other stuff in there on our YouTube channel. Various memes. And that's it, baby.
Steve, this is excellent. This is outstanding.
Thank you, Tony.
This is the future. This is exciting. This is 2024.
Yes. Yeah, Chunk did an amazing job with this, and we made it nice and simple and sleek, and it looks beautiful, and it runs seamlessly. And there's a lot of really good content there. So I encourage you to read through the articles, check it out. Find a meme that makes you laugh or makes you think or makes you inspired. Share it with your favorite platform.
This is huge.
Yes.
Huge, Steve. Huge.
John said good job on the site. He said it looks good. Thank you, John. And you can thank Chunk as well. All right. So, and Time Machine said, yes, get the book. Best money he spent in years. Thank you for saying that. He or she, or both.
And that's coming from the Time Machine, folks.
Yeah.
Time Machine.
Yeah. Yeah, I put a lot into that, a lot of thought into it, and a lot of care and love into that. And you'll get something out of it for sure.
Well, it shows it's very well thought out. It's not just a bunch of gimmicks. It's really, tried and true, tactics, and it's a testament to all your years of playing and your knowledge of how to do it.
Yeah. Well, not so much the playing, but more of the
how to
internet marketing.
Yeah, right. How to market, how to leverage social media, how to, playing, like almost to me, it's like the playing is the primary thing, right? Like you have to be good at what you do, and you have to present a great show, and you have to do the best that you can, right? And that's only one aspect of the many, right, of getting people to the show. Because you could be the best drummer, the best guitar player, the best cover band, and if no one knows about you, you're still gonna have nobody at your show, no matter how great you are.
Exactly. You got to let people know about you. People need to know about you in order to like you or come see you play. They need to know about you.
That's it. If they know about you, they come and see you, then they like you, then they love you.
Yeah. And then they tell two friends, and so on and so on.
And so on and so on.
Do you remember that commercial?
I sure do, Steve. And it's like, you spend that money on the book because you're worth it.
Yeah.
Remember that commercial?
Yes. Same kind of category there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't remember what it was.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, going.
Shampoo, cover bands, it's all relative.
Was it shampoo?
I think so.
I think it was L'Oreal, because you're right there.
Maybe. That's right.
That's scary if that's right.
Yeah.
Going forward, we're going to hit 1 million followers this year, which I'm really psyched about. We're up to we're on Facebook. We're up to 880,000. And it'll be, within the next few months.
88.
Yeah. Which is a really insane milestone for me. And I know there's other pages out there that have millions of followers and stuff, but I just did this little old me by myself, and then it's going to be 1 million people following.
Oh, little Steve all by himself.
Yeah.
1 million followers.
So we're going to have a lot of cool shit coming up this year. A lot of interviews. Tony and I are going to line up some interviews for this show. I might do some other solo interviews too. Just going to be way more active this year. No 3-4 month breaks this year.
No,
anything.
Absolutely not. That's over. That was last year, Steve. This is 2024 now.
Right. Unless we get hit with a meteor or something.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop us.
I'm going to have a merch store where we're going to have some cool stuff like this hat that says Cover Band Central.
Yeah.
But some other different
have wigs like this.
Yeah, we'll get the Tony wig. Oh, that's a great idea. Because it's like the Guy Fieri hairdo. You know,
Exactly.
they got the Guy
Little,
Fieri
gun,
wigs.
little goatee,
We do make that happen.
like
Make
Halloween costumes. Yeah. All right, I'll work on that.
the Tony
Johnny,
wig,
make notes on that. I got my assistant. He's working on it right now. Tony
the Tony
wigs,
wig,
real
and
hair,
then the
real hair.
Tony goatee too. We got to get that in there.
And what we'll do is when I get my hair cut, I'll save the hair and we'll make the wigs from that. This way it'll be authentic.
Ooh. Well, then you can only sell one wig at
No, my hair
very
grows pretty fast. I could probably bang out like 6 a year.
6 wigs
We'll
a
see, we'll,
year.
we'll see what the demand is. If the demand gets to be too much, then I may have to go to other resources,
Yeah, that's still very exclusive. I mean,
gray horses or something.
we're gonna have to charge a lot of money for
Yeah. Oh, indeed. Be a lot more than $10. I can tell you that much.
that. Tony wig. Look for that and more in the merch store coming up later this year. It'll
The
all be on
wisdom wig. That's what I'm going to call it. The
what
wisdom
was the
wig.
wig.
Nice.
It'll all be on coverbandcentral.com. It's the home of all that stuff and more.
To
So
go
yeah, I encourage everybody
good
to go
and
check
look
that
good.
out. Yes. What else is coming? So what's been going on in your music world? I think we kind of skipped over that a little bit. What's
We didn't,
OC5?
but I'm
What's
glad to
go?
talk more about it since you've asked. So I've once again, I've the band is going through another growth stage where we have a member who's departing, who's actually wants to play less and spend more time with family, which is respectable.
Okay,
Um, but the
that
rest of the
happens.
guys in the band don't want to slow down, which is also great. So we've been auditioning, tons of people. In I don't know if you've been through those types of events, but auditions are always fun. You get to meet a lot of fun
I
people, a
have.
lot of eclectic, different, talented people. Very
I
hard to
have. I
decide.
love it. I
I
I
love it too.
love auditioning.
And the fun part about auditioning is it's not so much about the level of talent because everyone comes and they're very prepared and they're all very good musicians. It's more
Hmm.
about finding that like the kindred spirit that's going to click with the band, the person that
Hmm.
fits in that you can see is going to be fun to play with. Because we've all been in bands where you have someone who's, just not a good person, has an ego, thinks they're better than they are, and that's a drag. So,
Yeah, I think because you spend end up spending more time actually hanging out with each other than you do playing.
that's
So
what it
you
is.
have to find somebody that you get along with, and they talk about that a lot in Hired Gun, as you know.
Yeah, and someone that's open-minded, that's easy, that can take direction, that can
Right.
offer insights, that doesn't get offended if you want to present something to them that's different than what they want to do. Um, people that are genuinely want to be in the band, that are honored to be in the band. We got a lot of that, like, and it helps that we're established to where we're not just starting, you know what I mean? So we're filling a void, but we've already have up and running gigs, clubs, promoters, people following. So, we're a known entity, so to speak. So this
Right.
way, when people are auditioning, they're not just coming and saying, oh, well, I sing in my garage. A lot of people are coming from other bands or saying like, hey, I wasn't planning on leaving my band, but this is a great opportunity. Um, it's telling too. Sometimes people come in, they say, really, love the band, great musicianship. You guys are all great, fun to hang out with, but I'm more of a rock guy, like a heavier band, and
Hmm.
not into the eclectic mix of songs that we do, which is great, because then they're not going to be a good fit. So, the key is finding someone that has mutual interest, like you said, shared love of the music that we do. Is a talented musician that can, perform at a level that we need them to, but also is a fun person to hang out with.
Right.
And we're getting close. We're narrowing it down. So I think within the next month or so, we're going to have the replacement in the seat, and they'll be up to speed. A lot of songs to learn. Probably 70 songs, and not your common cover band fare. So it's going to be a little bit of a mission.
Sure.
Um, but the member that is departing, has graciously said, listen, I'm not leaving on any bad terms, so I'll stay as long as you guys need me to, and I'll do as many gigs as I can until you find a replacement.
Right.
So that's helpful too, because then we're not under the gun to say, well, we can't book any gigs because, we already have, like I said, almost 20 gigs on the books already for this year. If we had waited and said, well, we don't know when we're going to have a replacement, we don't know what we're going to do. If that person just got up and left and said, listen, I'm done after this is my last gig, I'm not coming back again. That's a hardship, and it's really difficult
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you feel the pressure of having to get a replacement. and you're canceling gigs. And you know what happens is, they're booking now through September. So if you don't get a replacement till March or April, and then you start trying to book gigs, you're looking at like fall. You're not going to have anything for the summer,
Right.
or the spring. So we
Right.
we we booked as business as usual, and as reluctant as a couple of the guys were saying, well, what's going to happen? We don't know. They said, let's just full speed ahead. We'll have somebody just believe that it's going to happen, and book the gigs like we normally would, and we'll keep going. And so far, it's been working out.
Good. I think that's the way to do it. It's like the build it and they will come mentality. Just act as if,
Yeah,
act as
exactly.
if we're going to be good. And you'll
Yeah.
end up being good. Um, but
And
yeah,
then
I
we and
do.
then we get a new energy in the band. That'll be fun. It'll be different
Yeah,
personality.
that's what I was going to say. I love about the audition process. One of the things is if you're doing like one of those sort of marathon, 3 or 4 hour auditions where you have people coming in one after the other, it's great. It's great camaraderie with the band, because you're generally like, in my experience anyway, you give them 3, 4, or 5 songs the people are auditioning to learn, and they all get the same songs. So then you end up playing all day. You end up playing these songs over and over and over again, which gets you tighter, which gets you, it just gets you more familiar with stuff.
Yep.
And when you change one element in a band, it changes the entire dynamic. So you have these different people coming in, these different singers with this different dynamic,
Oh, for
and
sure.
and
And
you.
they're different from the singer that you have now. And as much as I'm going to miss the person that's departing, because I really enjoy playing with him,
Mhm.
and he's a great musician as well. It's we're forced to have to move forward. So it's exciting to get a different energy in the band. And like you said, what we did too was we said, hey, here's 50 songs that we do in our rotation on a regular basis. Pick 10 that you're really
Okay.
comfortable, because again, they're not American Girl, Jesse's Girl. It's not,
Right.
it's not your run of the mill stuff. So out of those 50 songs, some people will say like, I know these 3 or 4, and I could work on these 5. And
Okay.
you can definitely tell. That's my biggest thing about auditions is you can definitely tell when someone's singing or playing a song that they've done before, their level of comfortability, the way their ownership of it, their confidence in it, as opposed
Right.
to something that they're kind of learning or they're working on and it's a little shaky. But on the flip side of that too is they're doing the best they can with it. And some people come and they really bring it. Like they say, "Hey, I never sang this song before, but I'm going to give it my best shot," and they do, and they kill it. It's great.
Do you get people coming in like performing, like as if they're on stage, or are they all kind of just standing there and singing?
A mix of both. Some real comfortable. You can tell people that have been in bands and are used to, being in front of an audience and a crowd, comfortable
Slouching.
singing. Some people coming in that don't know the songs, reading off an iPad or an iPhone,
Yeah.
and just concentrating more on singing the parts correctly, the phrasing correctly, the timing, the lyrics more so than looking like they're having a great time. But then as soon as they get to a song that they're comfortable with, they fall right into it because they're not looking at their phone, and that's really what you try to get a feel for, because it's like, you can't really judge everyone on their audition, so to speak, right? Because it's not really a true testament of how they're going to be 10 gigs in. You know what I mean? Once they're comfortable with the
True.
material, they know a song, because, you're going to play a song that you've played 100 times differently than the song that you know that you've listened to, but you've never really played it with a band. So you go home and
Right.
shed it a little bit, and then you go and do it with a band, and it's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're solid and you know the parts, and your confidence is there. Um, but that's the other thing too, is like how prepared people come. Some people come super prepared, some people
Hmm.
come kind of prepared. We
Right.
haven't had anyone that came unprepared. Um, and we also weeded through, a bunch of audition, send us a video. So this way we're
Hmm.
not just taking in 50 people. You're narrowing it down to the best 10.
Good. 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 Yeah. It's great this
Oh, it's
age
been a
we
lot
live
of
in where you can, because yeah, back when I was doing that, there was no such thing as YouTube or the internet.
Oh,
How
yeah,
how
no, we've done that in the past too, and had, like, run the gamut. "Hey, we got 20 people that are interested, so we're gonna do,
yeah.
10 this week and 10 next week," and, oh boy, you wish you had sorted through some of those.
Right.
But they made for
Um,
good stories.
yeah. So what's the room setup? Are you all like kind of as if you would be on stage, or are you in a circle, or like?
No, so we rehearse our band leader's house, Guy, and he has, full PA, microphone for everybody. So I'm sitting behind drums and I'm facing out, we'll say, to my
Mhm.
left is keyboards, so Jim's right off my hi hat, and then just to my right is
And
bass.
is he facing you or is he
Yeah,
facing
no,
out?
he's facing me
Okay.
because the room is like an L. Imagine like a big L, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, um, he'll be on one side of me facing, but he's looking at across at the bass player and the guitar player, and then the singer is facing us. So
Hmm.
everyone's kind of in a circle, semicircle, but we're all facing each other. So
Okay.
for the
That's what I
auditions,
wanted to know.
I'm directly facing, the singer, as is the bass player, as is, the keyboard player, and then the guitar player is also facing, so Jim and the key and imagine Jim and the guitar player looking at each other, and then me and the singer looking at each other, and the bass player is to my right, looking straight out. So
Got it.
you're kind of like in a stage setup, but not exactly. But it's more intimate that way, and you can make eye contact with everybody. And because he has the PA and the mixer, he's able to control it. And obviously, we're playing at a very subdued volume. We're not bashing and playing like we're at a show because we
Right.
want to
Right.
hear the person that's auditioning. So we're giving them room. So I'm playing, very subdued with a lot of dynamics and just keeping time so that they can hear themselves and interesting too, like some people come in, they're like, check 1, 2, good. Yeah, I'm good. Other people come in, they're like, I need a little more high end, a little more of this. Other people come with their own little board, like they got their own
Oh,
little
okay.
rig, which is a big step up because
Yeah.
now you say, well, that person's really serious about their sound because they're actually bringing equipment with
Does
them.
is anybody coming without a mic?
Yes, yes, yes.
That
Yeah.
kills me.
1 or 2 people
When
have
a
come with
singer shows up, like it happens to me here in New Orleans too. Sometimes a sub will show up or something like, and be like, "Anybody got a mic?" Like, are you kidding me? That'd be like if I went to a sub and be like, "Anybody got a bass?"
you got a snare and some sticks,
You
thrown.
didn't bring your bass. So yeah, that's a big red flag to me if they show up in an audition without a mic. Like,
Yeah, no, most people brought their own mic, and like I said, everyone's been really good. I mean, we've had really great, turnout and great talent. So it's been hard decisions, and we've had, both male and female
mhm.
audition, which are 2 different dynamics.
Sure, sure. Do you have a preference, or are you just looking for the best fit? That's it.
Not really a preference, really looking for the best fit,
Okay,
But I will say after running through these auditions that it seems like the male singers for the songs that we do are a better fit,
okay.
you know? But I wouldn't be opposed to having a male and a female singer if we could.
Yeah, that's ideal. We have that a lot here in
That
New
would be great
Orleans.
because then you have the whole gamut of range of all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do that a lot here in New Orleans. There's a lot of bands that have two. A lot. Most bands have two singers anyway, and
Mhm.
quite often it's a male and a female, which yeah, it opens up so many songs.
And what's interesting too is when they come and say, "Well, I have a set list too of 50 songs that I do with my band." And
Okay.
say, "Okay, what are some of those songs?" And maybe there's some crossover. And that's helpful to say, like, let's do a song that they do with their band on a regular basis that they're comfortable with.
Yeah,
And they're
that's a
gonna
good
and
idea.
confidence and they're gonna be used to performing it and they're gonna own it as opposed
Yeah,
to learn 5 songs that they've never done before.
right. Yeah, if they come in with a song, they try to challenge you and say, "Oh, do you guys know this song?" And maybe somebody knows it in the band, and then you can try to play through it and see. That's a good little turn there. Little advice to anybody who's auditioning for a band. Take that, learn what they want you to learn, but also throw them something, see how they react. Because when you go to an audition, you're auditioning them too. They're auditioning
Sure.
you, but you're auditioning them
Oh, yeah.
you know and if you're been around for a while, you can be picky for what you want. Um so
And
yeah,
you
you
wanna
can
be
certainly
picky
take
because
it.
you don't wanna hastily just jump into a situation and then find out 6 months down the road and 10 gigs later and 70 songs in that it's not the right fit.
Right. Yeah. That's a lot of fun, man. I wish it's been forever since I've auditioned for anybody or had to be in a situation to audition other people. Here in New Orleans, we don't have rehearsals, we don't have auditions, we just
Yeah, I
people
mean,
come and
we've had the same
right to the
lineup
gig.
for 3, 4 years now since I joined the band. It's been the
Yeah,
same guys. We added a lot of diverse new songs to the set, kind of in the genre that we do, and it's been a lot of fun. So
it's great.
not that anyone's gotten complacent, but it's been, when you play with the same guys for that long, it becomes like a machine. Like like you have the same players. Everyone knows what everyone's doing. You
Oh
play the
yeah.
songs a certain way, you do this certain fill, this certain lick, this certain vocal chop pickup thing, you know what I mean? And it becomes like you get really used to that. So it's interesting to now have a different dynamic. But it's exciting too, you know, but it's definitely going to be different, and it's going to be better.
That's great. I look forward to hearing your band and seeing video clips of your band.
I'll keep you posted.
Yes, you did share a drum thing with me recently that you did, and I don't have it here, but I'm going to have it for next week so I can show it to
Cool.
the audience, and they can
Yes.
hear it.
Excellent.
And we'll talk about. All right, let me catch up on some of these comments. What position is it playing? To answer that. Chong said you should outsource your hair to China, and they'll make you.
Quality control. I gotta keep
Yes,
an eye on that. You know?
they'll mass produce the Tony wig.
Yes, that's good.
So Chunk also said we'd always have the auditioner select 3 songs from our set to play, and give us 2 songs to learn that they were comfortable with. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair trade-off. 3 and 2. I like that. I like being able to set up though, like as if you were on stage. I remember there was I think it was at Stars in Fairfield in New Jersey, where the rehearsal rooms.
Yes.
I believe they had a mirror, if I'm not mistaken, or at least in one or a couple of those rooms.
Future Stars.
And you could set up as if you were on stage, and then look towards the mirror, so you could see everybody. And then when a singer would come in, they could do that as well. There was one day I remember specifically. It was let's get Bernie Schaefer. You know Bernie Schaefer? Yeah. He played in a band called Screaming Nudes, which was after this audition thing. This audition thing led to that, and I was just really there to help him out with the auditions. But we were there like all day. It was just girl after girl after girl. He was looking for a good girl singer coming in, and that was the setup, with the mirror and all that, and it worked out well that way.
Yeah, we didn't have any mirrors in, and rather look at someone's back the whole time. We just
you're used to that. You're a drummer, and
I know,
so you have to look at backs and asses.
Have interaction of people looking at looking at you. Then you can also see their dynamic and their interest and their expressions. So it was good.
Yes, good stuff, Tony. Good stuff. All right. Well, we're glad to be back. We'll be back next week, and we'll be doing this every week going forward, with maybe an exception here and there, but most of the time we will be here on Tuesdays.
Stories, fun, and onwards and upwards into 24. It's gonna be great, Steve.
Yeah, it's going to be a killer year. I'm very excited for it. Like we mentioned before, getintotheshow.com is the where you can get the ebook, or you can get it from the website, coverbandcentral.com. We took you through it and showed you. It looks really good. And please check it out and check out some of the articles and memes and share them and have a little fun with that. And you need to get in touch with me, Steve at coverbandcentral.com is how you can do that. I am very available pretty much everywhere. Very accessible. Does Tony have any videos of his band? We're going to have to dig some out, Chunk.
We'll get some up, Chunk. But you can go to tonyhair.com if you're interested.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's taken. If it's not, you better snap that one up.
Get that going quickly.
Tony'sHair.com.
TonyHair.com.
Or Tony's Hair. Either one would work. I don't know. All right. Thank you guys for watching, listening. We'll see you next week.
Central.